everybody, it's Marie here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to make a card with the Over the Moon stamp set. This is a totally brand new stamp set for me. I'm sure you've seen a lot of cards with it, but today you're going to see my version. I'm also going to use the Love What You Do stamp set. I'm going to use these two splotches as like a cow pattern, but I'll show you a different trick with these that you haven't seen before. Also, I'm going to use the Seasonal Layers Thinlits dies, and I'm going to be using the branch off that die set. I love this die set. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because a couple of days ago I made this beautiful card and everyone went berserk over the frame. And so I'm going to do that again, but with just coloured cardstock. This is just beautiful and everyone's gone mental over it. I'm so pleased everyone likes the frame part of it. So I thought it would be fun to use it in a more, just a fun kind of setup. So what you'll need also is the classic label punch. Very handy. So we'll start off with the card. Today I'm going to use a neutral, which is a soft suede card base, and it's half an A4 and scored in half again, and it makes an A6 card base. So I'll just burnish that score line that I have previously done. So that's that. Then I've got a piece of very vanilla cardstock which will go over the top, like so. And then we have, and that's just about 1/4 of an inch shorter than the rest of the card base. And then I've got another layering piece on the inside, and I've also got a scrap piece of two scrap pieces of very vanilla cardstock. So we'll get started. We're going to do some stamping. Just hold on 1 second. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp one of these layering vanilla pieces. I'm going to grab my Stamparatus, and I'm going to put this in the middle of my Stamparatus there, and I'm going to bring those two images there. And what I'm going to do with these, instead of using the proper way, which has more of a distressed watercolour look, I'm going to use the underside, which is a lot smoother. So I'm just going to pop them onto my cardstock there. I'll pop that there as well. Okay, and this way you get a much more even looking cow splotch. I don't like the distressed look, so I'm using it the other way. So I'm going to use my Crumb Cake ink pad, and I'm going to, now it doesn't have to be precise, so just letting you know. So I'm just going to now ink up the underside of that stamp. And the reason why I'm using the Stamparatus is because if I stuff it up, I can do it again. So I'll just grab a piece of paper here, and that way it will stay put. And I'm just going to use a couple of magnets. Oops. So I'll put one magnet here. I'll use that to also anchor that piece down. And I'm using that in the middle, so then I can just move that around and put that up there. All right, put this back on. We'll just start stamping. Okay, so I've just finished now stamping my gorgeous cow pattern, and I used the crumb cake ink. This is quite inky, so it looks darker than it would. So I think that turned out super cute, and it does really look like a cow pattern, so I love that. So I'm just going to take off those stamps. So that's using the underside. How cool is that? Alright, so I'll now put my magnets away, and then I'm going to stamp the cow and the sentiment. So I'll keep using my Stamparatus because I just find it a lot easier, and if I make a mistake it's no drama, I'll just stamp it again, so it's all good. So I'll just use the Over the Moon. I'm going to use that gorgeous cow. So I'll just pop that over here in the middle. And then I'm going to use the How's It Going sentiment, and I'll pop that right up the top here as well. So I'll just put that in the middle. Won't need that strip after all. So I'm going to use soft suede for that. Make sure I've buttered it right up to the corner and then stamp. And that's stamped absolutely perfect, so I won't need to do it again. Just clean up my stamps, and then I'll get rid of the Stamparatus. We are done with that. Alright, so I'll give you a close-up so you can see what it looks like with the soft suede. It's actually quite nice. So there you go, that's with the soft suede. So with the classic label punch, I'm going to cut out the sentiment. So I'm going to cut out the How's It Going. And I will leave that long, I think. We can always shorten it if we want to. Fits perfectly in there. So that's the How's It Going. And then I'm going to grab some early espresso, just some, I've got some scrap piece there. I used my die cutting machine there for that. I'm just going to grab my branch die, and I'm going to actually cut this because it's a bit long. So I'll just use my trimmer and cut this down so it can fit through my big shot. That my camera fell down for some unknown reason, so that was interesting. Alright, so that's all done now. So I'll just pop this to the side here. I'm going to grab my die, my branch die from the Seasonal Layers, and I'll just use up my early espresso cardstock. Doesn't have to be overly precise. I'm going to cut that out 4 times. With some early espresso cardstock. Okay, and with this image here, we're going to colour the cow in. Okay, the first colour I'm going to use are browns, so this will look a little bit monochromatic but still fun. Okay, so I've just finished colouring the gorgeous cow. So I'm going to zoom you up. That turned out so cute. All right, so I'm going to now trim off this piece of cardstock here. So this is going to then measure, let's see, 2 3/4. Make it 2.5. Yeah, make it 2.5 by, let's see now. Make it 2.5 by 2.5 by 2.5. There we go. So 2.5 inch square panel there. Then I'm going to add the branches as a frame. So now this looks like a really hot mess, but I will assure you that it will turn out really nice. All right, so that looks like a huge mess. Looks terrible actually, but let's see it with the card base. And that looks actually doesn't look that bad. Just trying to think, should I keep that on like that? That will add an interesting dimension, won't it, to the card there. Make it go this way. Let's make that like that. Actually, I really love the way that turned out. Just trying to think. I'll clean it up just here on the sides and see how that looks. Let me see. I think I quite like this. Never thought I would, but there you go. And like that, and just make it look neater. Just have a different take on that. Just trim that off. Just trim all of this off. I really like this. This is a happy accident, actually. I wasn't planning on making it like this. I love the way this turned out. I don't understand how I did that. But that is so different to this. So, yeah, knock yourself out. Use your branches. I'm going to keep this as is. I absolutely adore it. Very different, but unusual, and I like that. And then I'm going to use the cows are going somewhere around here, but I'm going to stick all of this down, and then I will trim off the excess. So let's start sticking. So I just put glue all over. trim off the excess parts. So I'm going to stick this down, say roughly about here. Stick all of that down. And then I'm going to trim off these excess bits, but I quite like the way they look. That is just way cool. Just trying to think. I've got bits here that I've just come off. So what I can do as well is I can stick this on top just to add like a little bit more interest up there, I suppose. So I'll just trim off, let's see now. Right over the top. I think that looks really cool, so I'm going to put that there. And for this one, I'm going to trim off, let's see, trim that off. I'll do some strategic trimming, and then I'll just stick that over the top of that there, just to give it more a more branchy look. Oops. Okay, that looks cool. Now, these bits here, I will trim off, unfortunately. And unfortunately these two as well. This one down here, I will trim that off, but I'm going to save that little piece and I'm just going to transfer it to over here just to add some interest. Let me see now, I'll have to turn it the other way, like so, but that's okay. Let's do that, shall we? And just trim off just a tad. Trim off just a tad. Get some more glue on that, because I kind of wiped it off with my fingers, but this is such a cool thing to do. This is a happy accident. I had no plans on making it like this, but I absolutely love it. That is just so cool. Like, super cool. I'm so excited. I love it when things work out. So I'm just going to stick this panel now on top of that. So just put glue right around the edges. Okay, and with the "Cows Are Going" sentiment, might put that, I might shorten that a little bit. Let's see. I'll pop this over here, shorten that, and I'll do the same on this side. So I'll just put that through. So I've shortened it just a little. And I'll just put it down here. How's it going? So cute. I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. I'll just grab a couple of dimensionals. Sorry, this card took a lot longer than I thought it would. However, I'm really happy. I've got an end piece here of dimensional. Don't throw those bits out. And check that out. Bam. So cool. And I'll just stick that right down here in the middle. How's it going? Oh, isn't that cute? It's a bit crooked, so I better fix that. Make sure it's nice and straight. Yeah, that's better. Love that. All right. Now, I forgot to stamp the inside panel. I always do that. So I'm just going to grab my Stamparatus again. And I'll just grab my inner panel of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to just stamp the cow right down on the end there, down the bottom. And I'll just use my soft suede ink. Pop that in there. So cute. I love this card. Who knew that cows could be so cute? I'm not normally, you know, getting these kind of cutesy cards. I do like them, but I don't make them very often. So this was a great opportunity to use this stamp set. So I'm going to now just put some glue. Just pop that over there. And that is my finished card for today. I was going to add flowers, but I thought, no, I'm going to leave it as is. I think this looks spectacular. It's very simple to me. Lots of little steps, but I think that the card turned out really well. Like, I was just lost for words for a second there, but I love the way this turned out. Just love it. So the Over the Moon stamp set is available in my online store at the moment. The Love What You Do stamp set, great. These two splotches make it for me. And just use the underside rather than the proper side, and in that way you get a lot more smooth images there. So you have a smooth image, and you can use them both the same without it wrecking your stamps. So you can do that. And this gorgeous die set, so good on its own, also good when it's paired up with the actual stamp set as well. But these are all available in my online store at pepperlyrose.stampinup.net. I hope you enjoyed this card, and I hope you like my idea of using, you know, your branches as a frame around your images, and you can use them as a whole branch, or you can cut them even shorter and make it look like that as well. So the sky's the limit with your dies. Think outside the box, and sometimes it will surprise you what you come up with. This was not intentional. I wanted it to be looking similar to this, but I loved the way that looked against the cow pattern. So I thought that turned out fantastic. So I hope you enjoy my idea of this frame with the branches. Please feel free to share my video around. And if you would like to case this, I would love to see your versions of it. I'm sure you can come up with so many fun designs with it. And yeah, I'd love to see it, so let me know. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said before, all of these products are available through my online store at pepperlyrose.stampinup.net. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.